Good afternoon, everybody, from the Golf War Advocate podcast. Hope everybody in America and Tim is Tim is not here with us. I will be your co-host / host for this evening. He's feeling a little. We're praying that he feels better. Sending good vibes and good thoughts his way to him and his family. We're hoping that he gets well and comes back to some great information and great news sharing. I think we have TAPS next week, the Tragedy Assistance Program with Candace Miller next week. So we're looking forward to having Tim back with us next week. And if not, then Fire and Super Gumby, right? That's what we're doing here. So today we have a great show. American Sportsman for Veterans. They're out in Ohio. They're out in Michigan, out on fishing and hunting trips. So we're going to introduce a longtime friend who is one of the founders of American Sportsman for Veterans. But before we do that, this here, it's getting towards the holidays. It's in between the Thanksgiving and Christmas holiday, or holidays, whatever you want to call it. The site was down for a little bit. We got news that the site was down and they had to go back to the 1-800. Got news a couple of days later that the site's back up. So if you're a veteran issues or know a veteran who is, the new number is 988, and they'll set you up with people to help you out with your kind of issues that you're having. Again, we'd rather hear about your issues, know that we weren't able to get you taken care of. So again, 981 for the Veterans Crisis Line. Again, if you're having any issues or you need some help, if you can't get a hold of your family, somebody who you reach out to, please reach to get the help and consideration and care that you need. Because again, we'd rather have you here alone. There's several people that have taken advantage of this number. We're glad that they're still here and they're still with us, and we don't want to we want to reduce that number of how many veterans are not with us. They couldn't handle what was going on, and they didn't have anybody to reach out to your family members, reach out to your buddies, reach out to whoever you can in your family, or can't, then reach out to the 988 and press 1. So all right, with that being said, I'm going to bring up Glenn. How you doing today?
Doing good, brother. How are you?
Finishing up putting up the 988 number here for veterans for the crisis line. Since it's the holiday season and everything, we want to make sure that if they can't reach out to their buddies, their brothers and sisters, that they have another avenue to 988 number, and then they press 1 for the Veterans Crisis Line. So all right. So Glenn, tell me about your organization, Americans. What does your organization do?
Well, we were founded here in late 2017, and as what our organization is, we're a 501c3 nonprofit, and as what we do, we get our veterans into the outdoors, whether it's hunting, fishing, hiking, camping, sporting events, things like that. We get them out for a day in hopes of not only getting them out for that day, but we want to make a relationship happen and keep in touch with them. And I've been doing this now for right around 14 years total. And I started toying around with it. My father, I was raised by my grandparents, and my grandpa was a World War II combat vet. So that was how I was raised. I was raised in a military family. I did not serve. Um, but for the last, I guess it's been around 25 years, that's how I've been trying to get back, is to serve our veterans and just make good memories for them, PTSD and all that stuff. It's something that a lot of people don't realize, and what we do and what we try to do, it really helps them. So that's our mission. Our mission is just to clear their minds and, let them get away for a minute and just go out and have a good time and put everything behind them for a day, and in hopes that they enjoy their time and, contact us again. And, it's not a one and done. We want it to be lifelong. So we don't want to just get our veterans out for a day and then, hey, it was nice meeting you and see you later. We want to get them out for a day and followed with a lot more.
Now, do you take them out fishing during the wintertime, just during the spring and the summertime?
Nope, we're all year round fishing. We do a lot of Great Lakes fishing. My specialty actually is walleye, all your big game fish, walleye, sturgeon, northerns, salmon, steelhead. But we also do inland lakes. My boat's a little big for an inland lake. So we do have other volunteers that have reached out to me within the last couple months that really want to get involved and that have the smaller boats for inland lakes. So we're looking forward to that in the spring when, when all their fish are spawning and everything. So that'll be good. And as for hunting, as long as I've been doing this, we still haven't locked down hunting land. So we do have the Eastern Aranac Sportsman's Club up in Twining, Michigan. They opened their club up to us. They built our disabled veterans really nice. It's a 10 by 10 ground blind. It's heated, and I can drive our disabled veterans right up to the door. The only thing with that is it's little over 3 hours away from me one way. And then, I drive up there early in the morning, we hunt all day, and then I have to drive back home. So with COVID and everything, the hunting this year has been really slow for us. We've only did 3 hunting trips this year, and that's really due to the fact of just, we don't have anywhere to take our veterans hunting. It's not, you would think it would be easy, but it's not. And especially our disabled veterans, you can't just jump out on some state land or something and, and be able to do that comfortably. We really need to have a location to where it's accessible for our handicap.
And so, like,
or disabled.
when you take somebody out for fishing or hunting, they got to get a license for that day prior to going out, and then their own stuff, or how does that work as far as getting them out there?
Before I answer that, bear with me a little bit, because I don't know if I'm breaking up, but you are breaking up a little bit, so I might misinterpret. If I do, I'll just ask you to repeat. But it is mandatory. If you go hunting, you do have to have your hunting license. You can get a daily permit. Most of our veterans, actually it's free. If you're a disabled veteran or a veteran, you don't pay for a hunting license or a fishing license. So when our veterans most of the time it's our veterans family that contacts us. Hey, we would like, sorry, my camera fell there.
Sorry, no problem.
So a lot of times our veterans will reach out, their family will, and say, hey, my grandpa, my dad, whatever the case might be, we would like to surprise them and get them out on a hunt. And so then from that point forward, we make sure they have their hunting license. If they don't have a bow, and most of the time we use a crossbow, which is the easiest, and that's something to where I can pull back, or whoever our guide is that day in the organization can pull it back and load your bolt, and they're ready to go. And or shotgun season is always an option. And either way, if they don't have a bow, crossbow, or a shotgun, there will be one provided to them. And we do a full starting, I shouldn't say we do, we've only done it just this year, we started doing it, but we do a safety course before we go out. All these years, there ain't nothing worse than wounding an animal and not recovering it. So from here on out, we're going to do it this way and make sure we do a sight-in day, make sure our veteran, is able to shoot instead of just going out raw, having a weapon and shooting it for the first time. That's just, it's an improvement that we're working on, slowly
Perfect.
coming about.
Yeah. So tell me about a day out fishing. What does all that entail? Or you got a couple of vets that are going out. Do you specifically stay at go to different lakes, or just where the veteran is, kind of Erie, or go to Lake Michigan, or do you stay kind of like, okay, this today we're like Huron or wherever, and you decided that already prior to going? Tell me how that all comes together.
Well, actually, I've been very blessed my whole life. My grandfather, which I call him Dad, he was an angler. He was a master angler. So I was brought up on the water. I know a lot of captains. I know a lot of bait shops all around Michigan. So, like I said, I've been very blessed to where I can just call out where are the fish at? Are they feeding? Are they spawning? And then I find a location, and then that's when I'll reach out to our veterans. Hey, this is our best opportunity to catch trophy fish. And a lot of times, to be honest with you, our veterans that go out fishing, probably 9 out of 10 times, they could really care less if they caught a fish. They just want to go out, and there's been several times to where, prime example, quick story here. We did a sturgeon fishing trip, and we took a World War II veteran out, Mr. Lester Maurer and his son, and first rod goes off. It was probably about 100-pound fish, and neither one of them were even interested in reeling it in. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? They're like, sir, we're just glad to be out here having conversation. And that's probably happened around 10 times now in the last 8 years, to where we've literally went out, rods were popping everywhere, fish just wanting to jump in the boat, and
Right.
we pulled all the rods in and we just floated on the water and talked and hung out for the day.
Wow, what an experience, especially with the World War, the stories and the. I mean, what do you see? Take me through, like, if you found somebody who's, um, and then they get on the water and they realize that people care about them, and people are wanting to listen around. Like you said, the fish were biting and nobody really cared. They just wanted to talk. But a transformation or a huge difference when somebody's struggling, or they're having on the water, and then everything just kind of it's just like a whole new person. Spirits are lifted. I mean, take me through something like that. What have you seen?
Well, to be honest with you, my job when I'm with our veterans, whether there's one veteran or I've done events to where I've had over 100 veterans with me, and we're all out on the water at the same time. But my job, and a lot of people in a lot of other organizations that do what we do, they don't realize that you're not only out there being their captain for the day, but you're out there trying to bond with them. But your biggest thing that I look for is stress. If our veteran starts stressing out, like I said earlier, PTSD is very real. You could be having the greatest time in the world, and then next thing you know, there's something going on. Well, it's my job to know what's going on and to change that situation immediately. And a lot of my, I have a lot of first mates, different people that I take out with me that are top anglers all around the United States, and they never knew that that was part of the scenario. When you're out 10 miles out in the Great Lakes, and something bad happens. How do you handle that? You can't
Right.
run from it. You have to
Right.
handle it direct. It's one-on-one, and that's what I do. That's my job. I can tell when it's coming on. I've been doing that since I was a kid. My dad has trained me over and over and over the signs and what to look for and how to try to work that situation out. And so, when we get out there, I video record everything. I take as many pictures as possible. And it's what's cool is that's one of the things that I do to where when I can see maybe it's starting to go south a little bit, boom, hey, look at this picture of you, man. And, I'll catch the moment. I catch the smile. I
Right.
catch the laughter. I catch what they don't get to see because they're looking out. They're not looking in. And once they
Right.
see that, boom, their mind's away from it. And, boom, they're right back into it again. And sometimes I've been out there and our veteran just, it wasn't for them at all, and they were ready to be done within an hour. And I've never once, God as my witness, had to come into shore. I've turned it around for them and we've stayed out all day and they had a good time. A lot of our veterans, they're secluded. They don't do things. They stay in their homes. They um I guess they relive what they had to go through over and over and over in life, and they just feel that people don't care. They feel that if they're in public, they feel they're going to be a nuisance, or they just this is just what I've
Right.
come to realize, that it's just reality, and to help them, you got to get them out of that reality. You have to show them you care. You have to show them that there are good people in this world that love them. Our veterans, that's another thing. A lot of our civilians, they have no idea. They don't, when you see a veteran wearing a hat into the store, it's priority to thank them for their service. And sometimes you'll get a hard-headed veteran that says, I don't want that thank you. And that's okay. I get it. But the next time they see you, they remember it. And then that's when the conversation starts.
Right. And so, so take me through, um, do they sign up for something website, or do they come to you in person, or call you, or even want to go fishing, or they want to go hunting? How does that process how
Most
does
of the
that process
time,
work?
most of the time we get most of our veterans, or we communicate mainly through Facebook. And we do have our website. Our website is American Sportsman's for Veterans.org, and we have a message board there too. They can go there, they can message us. Our Facebook page, they message us. My phone number is on everything. We're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on all that stuff. So all they got to do is reach out to us, and then we do our minute meeting every month. We're the first Tuesday every month right here in Ortonville at the Brandon Library.
Mm-hmm.
The public's welcome to come in at 6 o'clock, and it usually lasts a couple hours. And I always ask our veterans to come to a meeting, sit down with us, hear us out, and we can tell you everything firsthand what we're about. And we would love to have you. And that's where it all happens. They sign up, and then once they sign up, a lot of our veterans, they want to sign up to be volunteers. They want to help their brothers and sisters that serve this nation. So once they sign up in that way, we do all we can to get them out and about. It's really hard. I probably 3 or 4 books solid with veterans' names and phone numbers and addresses from all the events that we do. From as soon as it warms up till Christmas, we're somewhere. We're set up, getting our information out, and we're meeting our veterans. Well, our initial plan was years ago we'd have all them names in them books, and we'd be able to go through them and make phone calls. Well, come to find out that doesn't really work. Especially with our veterans, they just don't like to answer their phone. That's if they don't know the number, and I don't either. If I don't know the number, I don't answer it.
Right.
So I leave a message and hope that they call back. So a lot of times, like this Sunday, I have a veterans trip. We're out on Lake St. Clair. I have room for one more veteran. So is what I'll do. I'll go to our page on Facebook and I will post on there, hey, I have room on my boat for one more veteran, Lake St. Clair, 0600 dockside, 9 mile boat launch. The first veteran that can contact me by phone number, text, email, or message, you're more than welcome to join us. And that's how it usually happens a lot of times.
Now, is this is this no charge to the veteran? As far how does that? I mean, because you got gas and you've got all this other stuff, and you got the supply. all that other, stuff going on, especially with the hunting stuff as well. I mean, what are come out, or how does that work? What do
Well,
you got for that?
I mean, you know how 501c3 works. It's a
Right.
100% nonprofit organization. We do not make a single penny. If our bank account is bare and there's not a penny in it, then we pay for the trip ourselves. Our veterans don't pay for nothing ever. And if any
Right.
organization out there ever asks for money from a veteran for something, then that organization ain't in it for the right thing. And it's, be honest with you, it's not even legal. You can't do it by law. Um, we get our funds in by donations. Like I said, we hold events as many as we can a year. We usually try to get 2 really good events in a year. We do a Veterans Wild Game Cookout. That's our biggest event. We usually get around between 200 and 300 veterans that appear to that. This year, well, since COVID's really hurt us, and it's really hurt our veterans
Right.
because, well, we all know the last 3 years in COVID's just been a real crap show for everybody, and everybody's been terrified. Nobody's wanting to be in public. Nobody's been wanting to be around anybody. And now, finally, I do believe that people are seeing it for what it is, I guess is a term to put it, and they're getting out now. And we're starting to liven back up. We're starting to get more communication going, and God, I really hope I'm seeing 2023 being a really big year, for our organization and what we do with our veterans. I think it's going to come back strong. I really do. Our veterans, and I say our veterans, but everybody at this point in time in history really needs to relax. They really need to get out. They really need to clear their minds. But our veterans really, really, really do, and that's what we're trying to promote here. We want to get them out as much as possible.
Now, do you see? You said you took a World War. Uh, what was the other veteran? Were they like Vietnam or Iraq or
It was
Afghanistan?
it was actually his son that joined us that day, and he was Vietnam veteran. So we had a World War II veteran, and his son was Vietnam veteran. And then actually, I guess it was about maybe 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago, we got Mr. Lester Maurer and Phil. Oh, I can't think of it. I'll think of his last name, but we had 2 World War II veterans, both on the boat with both of their sons, which were, also veterans, and one trip. And that was, I don't know, that was my highlight of everything I've ever done. To have that group together out on Lake Erie perch fishing was simply phenomenal. We got a pretty good video on our page. If you anybody that's watching this and would like to see what it's like to see 2 World War II veterans be applauded, we went to, after we took them fishing, we ended up taking them to a local restaurant there, and they had no idea what was coming. I didn't even know I was going to do this, but I had them turn off all the TVs, and I introduced them as 2 World War II heroes. And there was probably 60, 70 people in there, and they all stood up and gave them a standing ovation, and they all came to the table and thanked them for their service. And you're talking 90, 97, 98-year-old men crying because they ain't never had that before. They've never had that love come upon them out of the blue without, they didn't even know. And
Right.
that's what I try to do. I just,
Well,
whatever
that
it takes.
that is huge. And the reason why I'm asking you this, well, first of all, it's the December say, 81 years ago, that horrific Pearl Harbor, and launched us into a war. And we're talking, and the veterans from there, and we're Vietnam vets who came home to harassment. Back in Afghanistan, veterans can come home to hugs and appreciation, and just disparity between even the Gulf War as well, because so we don't want to look bad when we're having issues. Have you seen like a connection from I don't have a lot of connection with Vietnam at their end, or Gulf War or something like that. But have you seen commonalities between, let's say you take out a Vietnam vet and you take out vet? Do you see them just BSing and having a good time just being in their company, or do you see kind of like a, I wouldn't say a disparity, but kind of like a gap in that, or pretty much a bridge because they're out there fishing or just having a good time or hanging out or getting out of the house, or when you take the veterans out that have been to different wars or different, you see a connection, an automatic connection between them when they're out and fishing?
So I guess I got a couple different answers on this if I understand it correctly. All of our veterans, they don't even, actually is what's really cool. We've had veterans on our boat that didn't know each other, that actually served together, and then they still talk today, and they were actually around each other back in Nam,
Oh, wow.
Iraq,
Wow.
all these wars. And so yes, they always connect, they always get along, and is what's really cool is they always pick on each other, right? You got your jarheads, you got your
Yep.
Marines eating the crayons, and so that's the whole
Right.
trip. They're always poking at each other, but it's all in good fun. And then I
Right.
guess another way to answer it would be between World War II veterans, Vietnam veterans. Out of all of our war veterans, I think them two, from what my experience is, their camaraderie is a lot more alike. I don't know if that's the right wording, but they're more them two groups are more alike than our other veterans and our younger veterans. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but they I guess their personalities, maybe that's how it'd be the right way to say it. Their personalities are a lot alike. And then when you
Mm-hmm.
go to our Gulf War, our Iraqi War, freaking Desert Storm, it's a little more. They're a little more intense, I guess is a good way of putting it. They're a little more intense. They're a little more edgy, and they're a little more. Mm, it takes them a minute to earn some trust, which is
Right.
totally understandable. They're the one. Our younger generations are the ones that is a little more of a challenge, I guess, to prove to them what we're about and to show them that we truly care because we do. And then once they see it, it's like flipping on a light switch.
Yep.
Then they're all good, and I mean, we have, geez, I don't even know what we're up to. We're around 10 to 12,000 just on Facebook and between our page and group, and then our other formats. We're at like 15, 20,000 veterans now that all they don't. I wouldn't say they communicate with us, but they're watching, they're interested, and they're all around the world. They're not just here in Michigan or in Ohio or Wisconsin, or they're all over the place. So, but yeah, they all interact great. They all get along good, and the category I'd put it in is our World War II veterans, from what I've seen, and our Vietnam veterans they're kind of together. I guess that'd be the right way to say it.
So, with you not being a veteran who has served that, I mean, we have the ups and downs, and sometimes things don't go the right way. And what drives you to continue your service veterans by allowing them to be able to do this? What drives you to honor them and to support them? Because I mean, it, I tell you, as long as I have and your family, um, I I can't tell you I appreciate you and all that you do for our veterans, and sometimes and others, and we get it, but what is that? I mean, there's one thing that drives you to. What is that one thing that continuously that you beat home on why you do what you do for our?
God, our higher power, Jesus Christ. That is the main reason why I went with the government route and started a 501c3. And the main reason why is because I was told I couldn't. Um, I was with another organization that was out of Arizona for about a year and a half, and they were almost all 50 states. Well, we ran the Michigan um, organization from here. It was their organization, but we ran the team here in Michigan, and our team ended up pretty much overtaking all 50 states. And everybody was coming to Michigan. They were coming to our forums. They were coming to us for information. So this organization reached out to me and said, "Hey, we want to use your guys' logo, but you have to remove the cross." And these are all active duty military, and along with two veterans, this was their board and their trustees. And 4 out of 5 of them said they voted on it and said in order for us to continue our relationship with them, we had to remove the cross off of our logo. And that's when I had a real heart to heart with them. I said, the only way that happens is you'd have to kill me. You can't tell a man that he can't wear the cross. And so, long story short, that's what ruined that relationship with us. They all kind of said, we don't want to offend nobody. We can't offend certain religions or certain races. I said, well, you just offended me. And then it hit them. They all are like, oh crap, we just told him he can't offend other religions, but we just told him he can't wear the cross. So anyways, as you see on our logo, my cross stands proud, and it always will. And if it wasn't for the man above, I wouldn't be here today. Like you said, we've known each other almost our whole lives, and my younger years were wild. It's truly amazing, and I'm very blessed to be alive today. And that's what drives me, is just to touch hearts of others. And I don't push religion. I'm not even a religious person. I just believe in God. I'm a Christian, and I'm trying to do all I can to be forgiven of all my sins that I'll still continue doing, unfortunately, like the rest of us. And that's what drives me, brother, is just showing love, man. Just trying to put a smile on somebody's face, and especially the ones that put their life on the line for our freedom. And we see where that situation is right now, and it is so heartbreaking to see what's going on in the world right now. And for all of our past war heroes that didn't make it off the battlefield, which their families are still around, and all of our veterans that are here that are witnessing what's going on. And it's awful. So that's where our organizations all really need to buck up. We need to buckle down, and we need to get busy and show some more love the most we can. I mean, especially around the holiday season. A lot of our veterans are struggling right now, and that's what drives me, man. Just I guess just to bring some smiles, man, and show that we love them.
Yeah, that is great. And it's organizations like the one you have, and that are just driving this home to be able to get people out of their house, or their comfort zone a little bit, to get back out. And not even be the fact that they're fishing or casting a line in the water, or shooting it in a blind, but they might be just wanting to talk to somebody's ear, and get out. And so, with do you said you follow up with these folks, how often, folks, and um, what have you heard from feedback that you're doing this and sending people out? But what kind of feedback have you gotten from come on these trips, and what have you seen? I mean, has shout and said, what you did for us is life changing, and we can't tell you how great. What kind of feedback are you getting from the trips that you're sending out to these folks?
That's you just said it, man. That our feedback is always gratitude and appreciation, just as much as we put out to our veterans. After every trip, I always receive a phone call or a text telling, just, hey, it's nice to know that people do care. Because like I was telling you earlier, a lot of our veterans will get on the boat or get in the blind or whatever it is. I could be sitting at the restaurant and start talking to a veteran, and they automatically think you're BSing, because I didn't serve. But before I leave that conversation, they truly feel my heart and they understand that I do care. And it is very appreciative by all of them. I haven't had, and knock on wood, if I must, but I haven't had a veteran yet reach out and was mad or didn't have fun. We go out, we don't catch fish. Guess what? I'll turn into a clown on the boat. I don't care. I'm gonna make them laugh. I mean, that's my mission is to if I look over and somebody's and this and you ain't even got to be a veteran, that if I look at you ain't having fun, I'll fricking do a flip and land on the back of my head if it'll make you laugh. But
Right.
so
Right.
our feedback's been very good, and I think that's spoken for all of our veteran organizations that do what we do. When we started doing this, there was only two other organizations at the time, and that was Wounded Warriors and the Wheeling team. That was all I knew of. And now you literally have hundreds, if not maybe 1,000 or more, just in Michigan, 501c3s for our veterans. So it's really grown, and it's really good to see.
And it is. And, now you're hearing, to be honest with you, much of this until you and I started talking and we reconnected with what the American Sportsman for Veterans is doing by taking people fishing and hunting, and now all these other states that they're putting up a boat or they're sending somebody in a blind stuff to get them out, and I think it's just there's not one side there's not one remedy that is going to work for me, that's going to work for you. Let me tell you, just being able to have access and crap about the veteran community, and especially I applaud you and your family for doing what you're doing, and the amount of stuff that you do for the veterans in the state of Michigan. Another veteran came into town and just said, "Hey, can I get on your boat?" And I'm from New York or California or something like that. I can't see you saying no unless you don't have enough. Can't see you saying no in your heart, and taking somebody out and just giving a get out and to have the camaraderie and show the appreciation and the care for doing this. And now I've seen all these other organizations with these states that are, and I tell you, man, I can't tell you how much it means what the organization is doing for our veterans here, just in the state of Michigan, Ohio, and you and your organization for all the hard work and the dedication to our veterans. There's almost 600,000 veterans in the state of Michigan, and when we were advocating for the PACT Act, and I knew if I just saved one veteran get able to be healed or have answers and hope and solid, that that it would be life changing for them. And you're pounding the lake or pounding the ground on those hunting things, and it's an honor and a privilege to know you, to call you my brother, to have. It's been a true honor. And so tell me about the folks in the I know you just don't do this by yourself, but tell me about those who are supporting veterans behind the scenes that we don't hear about much. One man shopping. You don't do this all alone, but tell me about those folks. I want how these people are just like, you know what, no questions answered. Let me get these people out there, captains, and it's really great. So tell me some stories about those folks who are out there behind organization flourish.
Yeah, well, first of all, to the beginning of where you started with that, if there was a veteran that came from out of town, out of state, from anywhere, and if I can't get them out, I'll get them out on somebody's boat. I have an endless line of phone numbers and very close friends of mine that are paid charter captains that have been doing it their whole life, and they will in a heartbeat get our veteran out if I'm not able. Throughout our organization and the people that are on my team, we were up to about 13 boats, and now I think we're down to about 8 since COVID, which is fine. That's okay, but we're looking to grow in that aspect. Now, throughout the other organizations, there's many organizations, and like like a, it's just a phone call for me, literally. If like let's see, this spring, prime example, I do a veterans. I try to do 3 veteran walleye tournaments a year. This year, everybody's heard in Michigan of Walleye for Warriors. My late friend Nels Larson's, he was a Vietnam veteran. Um, Unfortunately, he passed away, and he passed away from cancer. He had, everything that came with Vietnam. He,
Right.
he contracted it, and we don't need to talk about all that. But he started this great organization, and he started it over on Lake Michigan, salmon fishing, and it took right off. So then he said, you know what, I'm going to go to Saginaw Bay, and I'm going to start Walleye for Warriors. And so I guess this past year, right before COVID hit, let's see, been the year that COVID hit, they were going to do the event. Nels was still with us then, but he was real sick. And they ended up having to cancel the event because of COVID. Well, he still held a personal event, invite only, just to come up to Linwood Beach Marina there and campground. And he knew he wasn't going to make it. He knew he was passing away. So he invited, I guess there was probably ended up being about 100 of us that were there. And he spent time with us. And at the end of the day, he told us all goodbye and thanked everybody for everything they've done for him. And then, shoot, it wasn't long. It was only about a month after that he ended up passing away. Well, then this past summer, they did his 9th annual Walleye for Warriors, and while we were there, I'm blessed. I know everybody there. All your shop owners, all your captains are there, and they actually asked our organization to team up with them here on out, and this will be 2023 American Sportsman for Veterans will be a part of Walleye for Warriors. So it's a very blessed and very honored to take on that role. This past summer, my boat was the flagship, and we flew Nell's flag that he carried around everywhere. And when we came back to port, and so I think we had 142 boats that went out that day. And as what we do there, when you come back in, all your civilian life around Linwood, Bay City, they all come to that marina and they welcome all our veterans home.
How great.
Welcome back, and you drive through the port. Well, I had his flag up, and my good friend Mike Avery from Mike Avery Outdoors, introduced me and the flagship, and we brought it in, and all the veterans there, every one of them signed that flag, and we were able to give it to his wife, so that was, but that's how all the organizations work. It's very doable. If we had 1,000 veterans that wanted to go out next weekend, between all the organizations and their love that they share for our veterans, I'm almost sure we could probably pull it off, just in a few phone calls, and it'd go hellfire, man. And it would come together.
So you mentioned your organization, American Sportsman for Veterans, and your website. What would you tell a veteran looking at your website to sign up or contact you guys for more information, or just looking at the website to get a hold of you or contact you, what would you want them to?
Well, they can go to our website, and is what I tell all of our veterans before they even reach out to me. Go through everything. I want you to vet me and my organization as much as you can. I don't want you to just look at it and go, oh, yeah, that looks like fun. I want you to look through it. I want you to study it. I want you to look at the videos, the pictures, the wording, and just everything about our organization. And then if that's for you, great, call me. You get my phone number's right on it. It's on everything that we have out there, every platform. My number's there, our email's there. And once they reach out, like I said, then I ask them to come to a meeting. If they can make a meeting and sit down, and sometimes they're out of state. Well, all of our meetings are live on Facebook. I don't know if it's by law, but I know our attorney said that, from day one, they said you should always record your meetings and make it a public knowledge. So I don't know if it's law through the 501c3 charitable act or not, but that's what we if you go to our or not our website, I'm sorry, our Facebook page, like I said, we have a page and a group. Majority of our information, our videos, our veterans information, when we go out on our trips, you're going to see most of it, probably 90% of it on our page. And then I'll take it from the page and then share it to the group. Our website is, it's through GoDaddy, and there ain't nothing about it easy. Trying to get up all your video, like, for one, you have a slot limit on. I don't know if you guys have a GoDaddy website, but there's a slot limit. You can only apply so much to it, and then you have to go through and decide. Like when your phone memory gets full, right? You have to go in and delete stuff to add stuff. Well, that's how GoDaddy works. So on Facebook, I don't have to do that. Everything's there. So that's what I ask from our veterans. Fully vet us, see what we're about, and if we can't help you, I assure you, I can get an organization that can help you. And that even goes through something that we haven't touched on is if our veterans just need somebody to talk to and they don't want to talk to me because I'm not a veteran, within minutes, I'll have a phone number for them. And a veteran will talk to them as long as they need it. So that's always an option too that, a lot of veterans don't know.
About what is we pulled this picture up. This was probably a while back. Is this one of your fishing trips that folks went on?
Yeah, that was our trip that we did. Oh, God, I can't hardly see it. Let me get a little closer here. That was our trip. We did a walleye tournament for our veterans up at the Sebring Marina there. And that was some of our finalists. Nice. So this right here was father and son, both veterans. God, I can't remember their names. Yeah, this was probably about 8 years ago, I think, 7 or 8 years ago. But that's
kind of brings you back to that nostalgia time.
What's that?
It kind of brings you back to the nostalgia time. You can't believe I look back on some of the organizations we've been with or we've advocated with, and it seems like yesterday, and it was when we started this whole thing, and it's crazy how time flies.
Yeah, the older we get, the faster it goes, it seems.
It does. So here I do have this the American Sportsman here. You had mentioned the website. If you would mention the website again.
It's Americans. So where it's American Sportsman, right? So a lot of people reach out to me and say they can't find it. Well, if you just speak to text, it's going to spell it sportsman, M-A-N, not M-E-N. So that's very, that's something for everybody to know. It's American Sportsmen for Veterans.org.
Okay. Contact information here on the bottom of the screen, correct?
I can't see it.
Okay, it says the 20 ASFV
Oh,
team.
yep.
That's your email there.
Yep. Yep.
to contact
And
you at least?
yeah, that's the best way. And then you just email me, and my phone will signal it, and I look at it, and boom, you're in contact with me.
Well, that's awesome. It's just like I said, man. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you for all the hard work that your board and the people behind the scenes for veterans have done. I know it takes a village on like this, and the heart and the drive and the soul of getting people watching their reactions and allowing them to go fishing is, there's a lot more hard with somebody on a boat and taking them out and bringing them back. And we advocate podcast and us veterans really appreciate people, your board and your organization for allowing us to have of space where we can come out and just feel human and enjoy our time out there without having to be to worry about the nuances of what life throws at us or what life obviously and in our lives while serving our country. So your organization, all the people that are behind the scenes, yourself, this for all that you've done for our veterans in Michigan and nation, all your hard work. I know it takes a lot networking and getting to those points where you can pick up. It wasn't just an overnight success where that happened and may have been. I don't know, but meeting the people and the behind the scenes stuff and running the organization. So implore you, we applaud you. We implore all veterans to reach out, even to get an opportunity to get outside and get out and get on those Great Lakes and go fishing or get in a blind and go hunting, and the norm that you might wind up enjoying, or I don't think like that and hurt yourself. So I know we're getting older now, so you that longer than that flip, so I'd worry about you doing that. But my God, Glenn, I appreciate having this time with us. And you got any last minute things you want to say to our about your organization or opportunities that are coming up?
Yeah, sure. First, thank you. It means a lot, and that's one thing that I strive in my organization and anybody that volunteers, including my board or our trustees, is we don't look for thank yous. We don't look for appreciation back to us. If anybody ever joins my organization and that's something that they expect, or if they don't hear their name and like them being applauded, that doesn't work for me. We're not doing this to be applauded. We're doing this to show appreciation, to give appreciation. We're not doing it to receive it back. But I do know we're running out of time. There's one very important thing to all of our organizations out there that are doing this. The statistics of a nonprofit organization is usually about a year and they fail. And I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, it is very, very hard in the aspect of you want to do this with your friends, you want to do this with your family, you want them to be a part of it. And it's hard to even say this, but I've lost a lot of people in my life doing this organization because simply they didn't, I guess they wanted to do things their way. When you sit back and you realize, and I try to explain this to a lot of our members that help out, no matter what happens, I'm the fall guy, right? So every organization has one person that's tied with the government. And if a lawsuit comes about, if like drinking and drugging, that's an absolutely no. It can't happen. It'll never happen on our boats, in the woods, in a vehicle, going anywhere with our veterans. It's a no. And so a lot of our beginners that are starting this out, my best advice to them is to just tread lightly and put the rules right up front, right off the bat. And hey, this is how I've been running it. This is how I want to keep it going. Take it or leave it. I hope you stay, but it's hard. And like I said, majority over 90%, I believe, is what they say. They fail within a year, and that's why I just feel blessed. We're on our 8th year of being on paperwork with the government, and so besides that, yeah, we have a lot of events coming up. Christmas is our next one. I posted yesterday. We're looking for a family. Um, One of my good friends, you actually know him. He goes by Bam. I don't want to say his name because he don't want to be recognized, but he's the Oakland County Sheriff, and he donated some funds for a family for Christmas this year. So we're looking for a veterans family that could truly use a little extra cheer. If you guys would spread the word for us, and all they got to do is a family member or whatever, email us, tell us their story, and like we do this every year, and we pick one family, and it ain't, it's not biased, it's not anything other than a hard decision, to be honest with you, because you only get to pick one. And but that's
Right.
what we're looking for. We're in a short time now. We only got, I think I put like in 8 days we're gonna pick that family, and then we surprise them on Christmas Eve. So, and then we have our,
Wow.
all our events in 2023. Maybe we'll get together here at the new year and we'll go over everything with you. And then like I told you last time I seen you, we would love nothing more than to have you guys with us, man, and just stay involved, and let's rock this out for our heroes.
And that's truly great. And hopefully in 2020 we can finally get together and put a little bit more behind this. And I mean, to 8 years of success. When you're on the right side of things and the right side of being right, then great things happen. And years of success of the organization, you're doing the right things. So yeah, I applaud you. I thank you for coming on today and talking about the organization you do. I look forward to a very wonderful and trying to get out a little bit more and doing some things. And all the best to you and the family for the holidays, and happy New Year to you. And again, thank you for coming on. And please contact American Sportsman for Veterans.org. Brother Glenn, he'd be more than happy to help you out if you have any questions. Go on the website. Thank you again for your time today and road. So again, thank you for everybody who signed on to be live on YouTube, Spotify. This will be on Amazon. This will be kids within the next hour or so. But again, Glenn, thank you for all you did for veterans, and we will see you down the road. We'd love to follow up with you, a future podcast down the road with us. So
All right,
thank
brother.
you, and thank you. Stay on just a little bit longer. I'm going to end it here, but if you have any questions, please shop for veterans. And yes, go ahead.
Hey, real quick, I just want to let you know, Kevin, I love you, brother. And to all of our veterans out there, please know we thank you for your service. We do love you. We don't know you, but we want to get to know you. So stay strong, reach out, and let us help.
With that, we'll end here. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we will see you next. Candace Miller from Transition Assistance Program, TAPS, coming on board for surviving kids of fallen heroes. So we look forward to seeing you next week. So thank you again.